being taken away. And all of a sudden, the other candidates who were criticizing me started saying, well, actually, I think it, and then they started saying, we need border, we need border. But when I came across it, then I said, we're going to have a wall. Mexico's going to pay for the wall. I mean, tell you what, I do that, I get these unbelievable applause from everybody, from everybody. We have to have a border. We're a country of laws. If you don't have a border, you don't have a country. I know the Border Patrol guys. I went there to Laredo, and I met a lot of them. They're terrific people, and they're out there, and they can do the job. Now, they want the wall, and they know, you know, the right wall. Hey, not these jobs that we build right now. You know, they build a ramp, and trucks go over the ramp and come down, loaded up with drugs. They sell the drugs, so we get the drugs, and they get the money. Doesn't work that way anymore. It's not going to work that way anymore. So we're going to be very tough. We're going to be very smart. I went through this so much, and now I see the same thing happening. When I said illegal immigration, all of a sudden people started thinking. And 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, it was really a nice conversation. When I talked about what I said the other day, all of a sudden, I'm watching the shows this morning, and I'm watching the shows tonight. Well, you know, Trump has a point. The visa system is not working. This woman came in on a marriage visa, and she was totally radicalized. And she came in, and all of a sudden they're saying, it's not working, the visa system. And then another show was talking about something else, not working. We've got to get down to the problems. We can't worry about being politically correct. We just can't afford anymore to be so politically correct. There's nobody in this country, if I wanted to be, that could be more politically correct than me. Nobody. I have a high education, went to an Ivy League school. I know everything. It's perfect. I could be so good. You'd all fall asleep. No, you'd fall asleep, and it would take a long time to say everything. But there's nobody. And I will say this. We're going to get down to brass tacks. You look at what happened. So many people knew that those two in California were up to no good. They saw bombs sitting on the floor. They had one guy who bought the guns. They had another person that said, oh, I didn't want to report them because I didn't want to go racial profiling. Oh, okay. Sees pipe bombs sitting all over the place, didn't want to racially profile. I mean, how stupid do they think we are? Now, the person that said that, to me, I'd call you folks, they're under investigation. Because that was probably some lawyer said, listen, they have you cold, they know you saw it, say that you didn't want to racially profile. That's where we are. That's where we are as a country, and we can't allow it to happen. People have to be vigilant. People have to keep their eyes open. If they did that, you wouldn't have had the World Trade Center. Of course, if they did what I said, you would have had Osama bin Laden killed before he ever got to the World Trade Center. You know that. He would have been killed. You know, I wrote a book in the year 2000, and I write about Osama bin Laden. That was 2 years before the World Trade Center came down. And people said, wait a minute, he wrote about Osama. What happened is I would see this guy on television. He was very threatening. And I said, you better watch that guy. That guy's a bad guy. And I wrote about it in my book. And some of the commentators actually said, Trump wrote about Osama bin Laden before the World Trade Center came down. I get a lot of credit for it. Big deal. I don't want credit. I want to have a safe, great country. So normally I wouldn't make this trip, but I had to make it because of my love and respect for police and law enforcement. And I'll come back here in a couple of minutes because, I don't know, it's going to be, can you imagine if they don't vote positively and go, look at all the press. That'll be headlines, Trump rejected. Can you believe? But I feel confident. I don't know. I feel confident. But we're going to, thank you, Don. We're going to be back in a couple of minutes. I guess your board is voting right now, and put a lot of pressure on your board, please, okay? So we'll be back in a few minutes.